Okay, hello YouTube. Today we're gonna be watching this Roblox interview about the CEO's child safety thoughts. I um I I watched a few seconds of the interview and they said it's just insane from what I seen, so yeah. Let's go ahead and start the reaction. Let's just skip to this.
Protect them. All right, Kevin. Well, now we'd like to turn our attention to a really serious topic, and that is what has been happening on Roblox, the very popular online gaming platform. Before we get into that, though, how much would you say you know about Roblox?
I know that it is a very popular gaming platform for young people, for children. I know that it is breaking all kinds of records in terms of how many people are using it. And every time I see a number about how many users it has,
Let me
it makes
full
my head spin a
screen
little
it.
bit. And I think, wow, that seems really big. We should pay attention to it.
Yeah, and this is an interesting one because Roblox was around for a long time before it got big. This is a company that was founded 20 years ago. The original product launched in February 2006, but its growth really accelerated during the pandemic when millions and millions of kids are stuck at home and they turn to Roblox to find things to do. That growth has continued since then. They've had a couple of viral hit games recently. Just in the past few months, they had one, Steal a Brain Rot, that broke a record for the largest number of concurrent players at 25.4 million. They had another hit game called Grow a Garden, and there was one day
Well,
when
I
47.3 million people were
I
concurrently
didn't
playing
know that
games
game
on the
was so
platform.
And it
popular.
has like a huge number of young people.
Yeah.
Like, I think we should just underline that. This is becoming kind of a de facto gathering place for young people, especially in this country.
Yes, today they have more than 150 million daily active users. And one thing that makes Roblox really unique, and this factors into the conversation that we're about to have, is that unlike an Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Discord, which required you to be at least 13 to join, anyone of any age can join Roblox for free. And so that is why, Kevin, if you are a preteen, there is a strong likelihood you're on Roblox. In fact, just shy of 40% of the platform's users are under 13.
Yeah, and that brings me to the second thing I know about Roblox, which is that recently they have been in the news a lot for a number of pretty troubling child safety.
Oh yeah, they have been getting the they have been getting sued a bunch. I would just say a lot of lawsuits, a lot of backlash about just predators on Roblox and how they're deciding to handle it. I mean, Schlip, he got his account banned for just trying to help out a few kids on Roblox.
The problems that they've been having. I've read stories and seen segments on the news about predators who are using Roblox to link up with young children, maybe lure them to another platform where they can ask them for pictures or engage them in sort of manipulative grooming behavior. There have been a lot of very upsetting stories about things like that happening on Roblox.
That's right. Often these same predators, Kevin, are paying children in.
Also, this is fully uncensored, by the way. I know people love to censor their stuff on YouTube, but I'm a fully uncensor it because I can't really do all that editing and stuff. Also, YouTube, before I continue, I don't condone any of this predatory stuff or anything. This is all just one video.
Robux, the currency of the platform, to entice them into compromising positions.
These
It's
are my
really upsetting,
opinions.
and
They're not.
regulators and lawmakers are starting to
They
take note of this. So
shouldn't go
3 states have
towards
filed lawsuits
anyone
against
or
Roblox over
anything.
child safety issues this year: Louisiana, Kentucky, and Texas. Florida's Attorney General launched an investigation into the company, and right now there are more than 20 lawsuits accusing Roblox of enabling.
Yeah, I know there's Texas, there's Louisiana, what else? I know it got banned in some countries. I don't know if it's still banned in those areas though. I'm assuming it is.
Sexual exploitation filed in federal court this year. That was according to a story by your colleague Eli Tan in the New York Times. So, how has Roblox responded? They rolled out a number of safety features in response. They have parental controls. And this week, they announced their latest feature, which is requiring users to undergo age estimation if they want to chat. So, if you want to chat with somebody, you're going to have to scan your face. Now, prior to this, though, Kevin, for many, many years, any adult has been able to contact any child on Roblox, and that seems like that has been the start of so many of these problems. And it has just raised the question, why has it taken the company this long?
Oh yeah, unpopular opinion. That is bullshit. The face estimation is bullshit. Because you never know how old a person is just based on their face. I look like a grown ass dude under here, but I'm just 19, so. But I would probably look like I'm in my 30s or something, to be honest. Yeah, let's just continue.
To get this problem under control. So to talk about that change and the company's broader approach to child safety, we invited on Roblox co-founder and CEO Dave Baszucki. Dave has been at the company since the beginning. You'll hear him say in this interview he was also one of the original moderators of the platform. That is something that he did when the company was quite small. Now, of course, his portfolio is a lot bigger and there is a lot more pressure on him.
Yes, and I would say the stakes of what happens at Roblox are higher than just what happens to the children who use Roblox. I would say this is a story that has a lot of bigger implications for the rest of the internet. Right now, we're at a time where child safety online has become a huge topic for regulators and parents around the world. We've talked about a number of laws and bills that have been introduced to try to protect children, and a number of features like age verification that states and companies have been rolling out or mandating to try to get a handle on some of these problems. All of this is swirling around Roblox right now, and so I think it's a really important time to talk to its CEO about how they are dealing with these challenges.
Yeah, this wound up being a pretty tense conversation. I think you'll hear that in the interview, but we thought it was important to try to ask these questions of the CEO directly. We also ranged a bit further afield, including what he thinks about prediction markets on Roblox.
Yeah, and just a little bit of context about that. This was something that we were talking about in the hallway before we started the interview. Dave said that he is a fan of Polymarket, the prediction markets, and so just know that when he brings that up toward the end of this interview, that did not.
I'm gonna go ahead and skip to the actual interview. Okay, here we go.
It is great to be here. Thank you.
You have joined us today to talk about this new age gating policy that Roblox is rolling out to protect kids. And I think we should start by just talking about the scope of the problem here. What has led you to this point, and how do you think of the problem of predators on Roblox?
We think of it not necessarily just as a problem, but an opportunity as well. How do we...
What? Did this nigga just say an opportunity?
And I think we should start by just
let me hear that again real quick.
Problem here. What has led you to this point, and how do you think of the problem of predators on Roblox?
We think of it not necessarily just as a problem, but an opportunity as well. How do we...
He did just say a opportunity. Not only a problem, but an opportunity. Wow, what money does to people.
Allow young people to build, communicate, and hang out together. How do we build the future of communication at the same time? So we've been, I think, in a good way working on this ever since we started. And when we were, this was almost 18 or 19 years ago, when we first launched the company, we had just 4 of us sitting in a room. we were literally the moderators. Like we would rotate all the time. And so fast forward to where we are today, it's just like every week, what is the latest tech at the scale we're at? 150 million daily actives, 11 billion hours.
So this dude doesn't seem like he cares about the children at all. It seems like he just cares about the money. Like, at all. Well,
A month. Like, what is the best way to keep pushing this forward? And as you correctly note, we've just started adding that we're going to be using facial age estimation with AI to complement that.
Right. So tell
also, another opinion, AI doesn't deserve to moderate. I feel like it should be able to, in some sense. Like, if you don't have enough employees, sure, put that shit through AI. But if it flags something, or vice versa, if you don't have enough people, just have someone just quickly go over IDs, and if it gets flagged, then have the AI look through it again. Because I mean, it's not the worst with age estimation and stuff, but it's not something that should be the only thing that's doing the work.
us a little bit about how this works. All users of Roblox now, if they want to communicate with others, they're going to have to kind of submit to a face scan.
That's correct. And I think long-term face scan isn't the only signal. Like mathematically, the more signals that are convoluted, the better the accuracy and the better we can get. So we already have signals. We have behavioral signals. We have photo ID upload.
Oh, they're also shutting down Gilded. I got that email like a week ago, but they're shutting down Gilded on the 19th of next month. This is being recorded in November of 2025 right now. December 19th is when they're gonna shut it down.
Signals. We have user suggested age. We're complementing that with a facial age estimation signal that literally, in an ephemeral way, use your phone, use your PC, scan an image, do a good AI estimation, the image isn't stored, and start using that to complement all the other
Image isn't stored, right? Not like I believe that for a second.
things we do. And we already do a pile of stuff. We have very, very good text filters.
I
We have
don't.
very, very good, there's no image sharing. We're doing a bunch of monitoring, but adding one more signal to that can really help us make cool decisions.
I want to learn more about this face scanning technology, but first I'm just struggling to understand like exactly how many of your users are which ages. Like my impression from the outside as a non-daily active user of Roblox is that a lot of kids who are 9, 10, 11, 12 are on the app. What is sort of the most popular age band of active users on Roblox?
This is really interesting, and I think this goes to what we've been saying for a while in that.
Oh, also I will reveal my face on at 500 subscribers. We're about there. Last time I checked, we are at like 433 subscribers. So that should not take too long to do.
Maybe for the last 5 to 10 years, people look at Roblox and say, well, these are kind of these. Maybe for the last 5 to 10 years, people look at Roblox and say, well, these are kind of these primitive games, and everyone on the platform is pretty young. We've seen that migrate over the last 5 years from predominantly under 13 to now, I believe we recently said self-reported almost 2/3 over 13, and we can see those numbers growing and growing. Like fastest growing segments on Roblox are 21 and up. right now.
Or at least people who say they're 21 and up.
Yeah. Now I think those numbers have a fair amount of current efficacy. We're obviously balancing those with the age estimation because we want a tighter estimation. But just looking at the size of the cohorts and the growth rates, there's a fair amount of accuracy to that.
You know,
There is a fair amount of accuracy to it, right? I don't trust that for a bit. Why I say that is because Roblox started out as just a kids game, and I think it still is. No one's gonna be playing Still a Brain Rot. No one's gonna be playing ride a cart down a ramp or bullshit like that. Once you're like 15, all that shit's done for.
when the EU rolled out some age assurance technology earlier this year, we saw.
We're
There we
obviously
go.
balancing those with the age estimation because we want a tighter estimation. But just looking at the size of the cohorts and the growth rates, there's a fair amount of accuracy to that.
When the EU rolled
Accuracy.
out some age assurance technology earlier this year, we saw a lot of kids that just took a photo of a video game character and used that to pass the age checks. How confident are you that your systems can avoid that kind of?
I think we have a lot.
And you know what? It's funny because the accuracy that goes into this. I was looking on my For You page today. There's a YouTuber I watch. I forgot her name, but the title was allegedly people are bypassing the AI already. Now that's accurate, right? People can bypass the AI with their fake IDs and stuff, and you call that accurate. Parents need to do more for their children, I swear.
A lot of opportunity here in that we already have other signals that are maybe not as reliable, but when combined are very reliable. We also have the opportunity. This isn't just a one-time thing. Roblox experiences are you're holding a phone. In many cases, we can use signals from your phone or the camera to animate your face, for example. So this isn't kind of a one-stop shop thing. This is possibly checking as we go if we see weird.
You know what? I shouldn't have verified my age on Roblox. I should have just left that game a long time ago. I do not trust them with my ID. I do not trust any of the sites with my ID. Your ID is the most valuable thing to know who you are. If someone steals it, then you're pretty much fucked.
Signals, do another age check as we go. So I'm pretty optimistic, kind of the more naive, like take a picture of that. We're gonna go way beyond that, and it's gonna get harder and harder to fingerprint in that way.
So after you roll out these changes, you're going to sort of sort users into bands, and depending on if you're.
Oh, so you know what? That age estimation ain't shit because I have my phone right here. If I was to use my front camera on it, then the quality is worse. Most children probably don't have all the most children probably don't have phones like I have. They probably don't have all the quality there. So if they take a picture it's probably gonna look older to them. And AI's not gonna know jack shit. Oop.
You're like 13, you're only going to be able to talk to people within a few years of your age. For most of Roblox's history, though, that has not been the case. Any anonymous adult could talk to any anonymous minor. Why was that the case?
I think
Oh, so now that I think about it, they're trying to do online dating on Roblox. This is a kids game. A kids game. They're trying to add online dating to. Yep, that won't go to shit at all.
we've always, from day one, really focused very heavily on quality of text filtering, and if anything, we've had very, very historically restrictive text filtering over time. One of the biggest complaints on Roblox, and arguably trading in a good way safety for growth, has been complaints of communication on the platform. Like, there's a lot of Roblox memes and themes, if you go back and dig into them, everyone's just saying hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. And there's been a lot of...
Because that's how you blur out words that aren't supposed
That's
to
correct.
use,
So there's a lot of historical memes about historical hashtag.
Oh, also, the filter on Roblox has always been shit.
Hashtag. With AI, these filters have gotten better and better. The state of...
The AI has gotten better and better. I can't even say the number 3 on Roblox without it getting hashtag. And I'm 19.
Where we are now is primarily getting into the blocking of adversarial attempts to broach the filter and adversarial attempts to try to share PII, which we're getting better and better at as well. On the age estimation, it's just, I would say, recently come of age to the point where we would complement it. But I would say our strategy is always complement with whatever technology is out there to put that together.
This is Kurt. Whatever David Spazuki's saying, he can't go like a minute without talking about AI so far. That is just... Okay, I understand where they're coming from somewhat because it's 2025. Every kid's gonna have a phone to their face. They're going to be playing whatever games they can. And you do somewhat need AI. You do, but like I said, don't trust AI for everything. And if you're using AI, do it locally. Don't use these third-party services and stuff. I have a computer with a Ryzen 7, a 7750 HS. That thing can run a text LLM just fine. I can only imagine what that can do with, like, AI face customization and stuff. And this is like a $1 billion company, or $1 million company. They partly have money to buy, I don't know, like 1,000 of those. Have them all running in the background.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. When I read these lawsuits and these investigations into the company, it does not seem like predators are having that hard of a time getting around your filters. Like, you read the allegations, and it's, people kind of, change a few keywords, a few letters here. They're able to get what they need. So I'm curious, what's made you so confident that these are working?
I don't want to comment on it. We do see the chat logs of the...
Also, I'm not gonna be private. I do play condo games on Roblox sometimes. Not the online ones, but the Roblox studio ones. And yes, there is possibility for you to to remove the filters, remove the game chat altogether, just have it in the actual game.
And we can see interesting and many times ways of people trying to, I'd say, many times people who are fairly sophisticated, I'm not going to say all of them, many times kids who are over 13 who actually in any other app are not running
Also,
in a filtered
don't think
situation.
about that again.
Unfortunately,
That was
figuring
just a
out how to
one-time
jump to
thing.
some other platform where they can communicate unfiltered, where they can share images, all of it. It's one of the primary things we're doing is trying to keep people on our platform. It's an interesting industry situation. I would say we're not waiting for the rest of the industry. We're always trying to stay ahead of it. We, on the California Age Appropriate Design Code, for example, we're like,
You know what? Okay, I'm not gonna say anything because I don't know how corrupt governments and stuff are. Again, I was actually trying to film a video earlier today on how much I hate the government now. With like age estimation and stuff. That Children's Safety Act is bullshit. If you want to keep your child safe, keep your child safe. You know, I'm not any of those like retarded people, but keep your child safe on the internet. You're the parent, you should have access to their phone. You should have access to what they can do. And the company shouldn't be watching over your child. You should be watching over your child.
like we're already doing all of that stuff on and the same thing with age estimation. We're not doing this because of any laws that are coming. We think it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned sort of kids leaving the.
We weren't doing shit because of those. I know this fucker just wants to just not have any estimation. You you do need some form of protection on your site, some form of moderation, but it's like, you don't need all this moderation to run on your site. You can have people chat on it. Anyone can chat on it. I don't really care what your age is, but you shouldn't be controlling that. Their children's parents are supposed to be controlling it.
Platform, and it does become clear in this lawsuits that Roblox is kind of, where predators go to find kids, but then they
Well, I
do
would
try
just,
to, yeah.
I would say in the lawsuit or the press,
Yeah.
yes, I would categorically reject the actual description of what you're saying.
Yeah.
But yes, what you might read in the news would portray it that way. But
You don't think you have a problem with predators on the platform?
I think we're doing an incredible job at innovating relative to the number of people on our platform and the hours in really leaning into.
Just get to the point. Is the platform safer now? I know what the answer is already, but I want to see what this fucker thinks.
The future of how this is going to work.
So let me ask the question about the other platforms there, because I agree with you that this is not a story about one company. Like, what we see is predators will come to a place like Roblox, then they try to get a child somewhere else. Like Discord is a platform that kind of comes up a lot. It seems to me like you could probably.
Discord isn't bad. You know why? They don't rely on AI for everything.
stop a lot of abuse if you prevented those platform
Roblox is bad right now.
shifts from happening. So like what can you do in that regard? Like, in my mind, if you see somebody chatting like, hey, like what's your Discord username? And it's an adult talking to a minor, that seems like it's a red flag. Maybe you're doing some of that kind of
I would
detection
actually
already.
say that is a very simple red flag.
Yeah.
Like that sounds like
You don't see stuff all the time about people getting abducted on Discord. You don't see Discord being sued by parents in states just because they're not moderating the site correctly.
text filter many prior
Right.
generations. So I would say the techniques
And they don't have a filter either. You can say whatever the fuck you want on their site.
are much more sophisticated than that. We're constantly getting better than that, and sometimes it's adversarial. Like we're getting into, if we cryptographically, we're going to try to have an exchange of how to share your Snap handle or whatever handle. We see some of that starting. Like things will have to essentially prevent in the future.
I don't understand. Like, what do you mean, like a cryptographic exchange?
Imagine you and I were trying to share the name of an airport somewhere in the world, and we were getting blocked by all of the filters. We might actually start getting really creative, like use the third letter of every fifth word to spell out the airport. And those are the kind of things we get into right now.
I have sort of a basic question, and forgive me if this betrays my naivete about Roblox and how the platform works, but like, why have a sort of open-ended text communication feature at all on a game that is very popular with young people? Like,
He has a good point. Just get rid of the text feature in general. I got a cool component on the game. Get rid of the text chat in general. People will probably be way safer on there. Way safer.
have a son, he's too young to play Roblox or any other game, but I can imagine saying as a parent of a slightly older child, like, I just don't want my kid playing games that allow them to chat with other people in this way. There are lots of games out there that don't have that kind of feature. Why is this so core to the way that Roblox?
It was way different when I was growing up. Yeah, Roblox was the thing, but you had like Luigi's Mansion, Mario Kart for the Wii, new Super Mario Bros. Now everything is online. You have to be online to play those games. I would actually say go back to single player games for kids games if you could. Like sure the Wii and stuff was online, but there was very minimal games that were online back then.
Well, I would highlight that a couple things. First, there's enormous benefits for having people be able to communicate, and we see those benefits. There's a lot.
I'm not against evolution also. I do feel like companies should be able to up their stuff, but this is not the way to do it. This is not the way to do it.
A lot of kids who find their peeps on Roblox. There's a lot of kids when they're lonely or isolated. Actually, I'm not going to use it as an excuse or anything, but I get a lot of calls from famous parents who said, "Look, my kid would be dead if it were not for finding a community on a platform like Roblox to stay connected with." And I would also say we do take
Right. Your kid would be dead for not finding the community. I'm sorry, but your kid can just die.
Take it as an enormous responsibility to design.
I'm going to be super honest to my head right now. Gun pointed at me. I'm going to be super honest. Your kid can probably just, you know, they don't need to be online. That's all I can say.
For not the sophisticated parent who goes in and says, look, I'm going to turn off.
If you'll get it, you'll get it. I'm not that good with, like, explaining stuff. I'm just doing my best to react to this like a normal person would, and like I would.
Who you can chat to and all of that. We have to design for all parents and think through that. But we do believe we have enormously great technology up and down the stack. We think it's part of building an experience like this.
Now, actually, don't hate on me for that last comment, but I do see the point because some people love to socialize. Getting lonely is kind of lonely. But still don't fucking let people chat on it if they're under the age of like 13.
If you go out there in the gaming space, I think it is.
Even if they're like 13 and up, monitor them until they're like 18.
Very common to support communication. I'm not going to list any other games, and typically
Half the parents monitor them, not the actual person, like what this fucker's doing. This fucker doesn't need to be monitored shit.
we are way beyond in, I'd say, our innovation level, responsibility level, on both the filtering, on the image sharing, on all of these things.
Is it fair to say that you think that any platform of Roblox's size with the number of young users Roblox has would be experiencing similar safety challenges?
I wouldn't categorize any of that. I would say we're at a scale that is somewhat mind-boggling. So I'm not going to run any, excuse numbers of Roblox relative to any other platforms. But I would say at a scale of 11 billion hours is very different than a scale of 10 million hours. It's 1,000 times that size of it. And I would say the scale we're at is quite enormous. It's 150 million people every day. It's many more than that every month. And relative to an individual game, the scale is enormous. We have experiences on our platform right now which had 25 million people playing at the same time. And traditionally in the gaming market, the record prior to that, I think, was 11 or 12 for all of Fortnite. And prior to that, big numbers are considered 1 million for a single game. Like I remember when Minecraft hit 1 million users. So think about that.
But Minecraft isn't online. Minecraft is mostly offline. Like if I was to play like Minecraft, Call of Duty, if you weren't required to be online, if this wasn't like the age where a lot of companies just like to use the money and have their stuff online all the time, we would probably still be using single player games all the damn time, and we would probably love it more than this online crap.
A whole platform at
Like I said, some online games are fine.
million users, a single game on Roblox hitting 25 million users. So
right. But you guys want that scale, right? You court it. You send push notifications. You give people daily login rewards. Like you want the millions and the millions to show up.
I think we actually see there being an incredible opportunity if that scale is going through platforms with good systems. It's actually a big thing, and that the scale already exists. Like the gaming space in a way is $190 billion. So we now have about 3 or 4% of that. I guess 3% coming through Roblox. So I would say we like the scale. It creates an opportunity for individual game creators who might be making their game by themselves without part of systems like that to make it as part of a more overall system.
Here's the dynamic that I think that people find frustrating. We have
You know, there are actually some offline games still, but not enough. You got First to Fathom, BeamNG Drive, right? Me personally, I usually use the offline feature. Hmm. Security Breach, that's not that fun anymore, but the only online games I really have that I play online is Roblox and Forza Horizon 5. That's pretty much it.
any large tech.
And VR chat. VR chat I've been getting into a lot. But still, their verification system is way more advanced than what Roblox has. You have to actually pay for it. I'm kind of mixed-minded on this, but I feel like more parents would not pay for their children monthly, or either they wouldn't sign up for a subscription at all just to verify their account.
Platforms right now, they seek this enormous scale. They reach previously unseen
And then also you need the ID.
heights, and then they notice they have a problem, and they go in and they try to solve it to some degree, and then they keep growing further, and then there's another problem. And I think to some degree that dynamic is probably inevitable. But I think what a lot of people want, what a lot of parents want, is some sense that people have a plan for what is going to happen when the 25 million people show up, right? And I think they're looking to people like you to see around these corners and to not wait till 20 years in existence to say, maybe we should like sort these people into age bands before they start communicating with each other.
Yeah, I would push back on that a bit, and I can hear what you're saying, but I would actually say for people inside of our company, the way we think about it and the way we do look ahead of it, we're constantly looking ahead, and we're not, it goes back to the very first thing we did probably a month into the company. So a month into the company, fun little story, there's about 200 people on Roblox, and what should we do? Should we keep growing it, or should we go build a safety system? And so 200 people in, let's stop everything, let's go build a safety system, and let's let the four of us go and become moderators.
That's the only thing I feel like he's like fully said right. You know, stop and build a safety system, not anything AI. You should start developing your own AI and start testing it out. But just start making a safety system, hire more moderators. Just I don't know. I don't know how to run a company, to be honest. I'm just speaking from a consumer's perspective.
So behind the scenes, I do agree with you. Enormous responsibility, enormously important to preempt this. It's why a lot of the architectural and decisions we've been making have been made, but we're going to keep doing them, right? And you could imagine Roblox at 20x.
I would love for them to keep blogging like people like Schlep and stuff like that. I would love to see how that goes down. The CEO will be pissed.
The scale, having 50% of the gaming market space all in a single place, like we'll keep innovating on top of that.
Last year, activist fund and short seller Hindenburg Research came out with a report arguing, among other things, that Roblox was, quote, compromising child safety in order to report growth to investors. One of the things they pointed to was that there had been a decline in your spending on trust and safety. You have denied that. Why? What did they have wrong?
So,
Oh, you know what? That is partly just very very true. The more people they get on their platform, the more money they're making, the more they'll have to rant about that.
fun. Let's keep going down this. And so first off,
So fun. Fun.
Hindenburg's no longer in existence, correct? So you,
He seems really mad, right? He seems that ticked him off.
should report on that. They went out of business for some reason. The other thing is, have you researched that information?
That isn't the question I asked. The question is it true that the company is not wanting to moderate to report more on like how many people they have on their site and stuff?
Because you're asking me about this. I'm curious if you've done your own research.
I have done some research
Yep,
about.
he's really ticked off.
What's your take on that?
I'm asking you.
So this is really interesting because I think we're diving into a situation where we're getting better. But would you ask the same situation of someone who converted from maybe hyper manual labor, making cars by hand, to an assembly line? The assembly line might be infinitely better and at the same time not have so many people. So I think what they're referring to is moving more and more.
That is true. That is true though. A lot of computers can be better than computers can be better than people, but the way they're doing this is just not the way to go.
And more to AI. Arguably, is it better to have AI systems reviewing every image, every piece of text, all of that, or to keep doing that manually? So I think that was a misnomer. And I think if you interview anyone in our safety team or safety systems, that would be just part of making our systems better.
So just so I have the clear response, the argument is that the shift has been from a more manual safety team and system to a more automated review process that may do a better job.
I would say to like hybrid kind of system. Half of it is manual and half of it is like computers.
Even if it costs less to operate, because
Yeah, I would actually lean in harder. The shift would be
Or have the manual labor people work with the computers. You know, like I said earlier, half the people review stuff first and then have the AI learn from that, and then if something is wrong then they can better it. AI isn't that far into what we think it is. AI just came out like AI has just started events like 4 years ago. Like, yeah, sure, it may seem better now, but it's probably not as well as it is or how companies make it.
Constantly moving to higher quality, more accurate, and more diligent systems. Can we review more? Can we do more better? And say you and I, we're a system. What is the best way to review every single image going into Roblox at higher and higher quality? And say we figured out the best way to do that is to do it with better and better AI models. Would you pick that?
Yeah.
Good. So you're aligning with what we did. High five.
But I've also been covering social networks.
Thank you for supporting. Thank you for just support.
Oh, yeah, now he's just not wanting to. He's so done with the interview.
We got a Roblox decision matrix.
I also remember 15 years ago
I'm so glad you guys are aligned with the way we won Roblox.
Right. I also remember 15 years ago when Mark Zuckerberg was saying,
"Is this a stealth interview where actually you love everything we're doing and you're here to stealthily support it?"
We were told you wanted to come in and talk about your new age gating technology, so we thought we'd get into
let
it.
me just finish this up. I totally buy what you're saying about using the best technology on the market to keep people safe.
And I want to highlight, I came here because I love your podcast and came to talk about everything. So if our PR people said, let's talk about age gating for an hour, I'm up for it. But I love your I thought I came here to talk about everything.
Got it.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about steal a brain rot too. That's part of my plan here too. But just to finish the thought, like I Casey and I both covered social networks back in the 2010s when it was very popular for people like Mark Zuckerberg to say, "Oh, we're going to use AI to solve all of our content moderation. It's going to take down everything that's scammy or false, and we won't need these people anymore." And investors loved that. And then they tried to do that, and they found that actually, the systems weren't that reliable yet, and maybe they were taking down too much content, or maybe they were missing stuff that was bad.
I mean, look at all these social networking companies. Like, go to 2016, for example, which is a reliance on automation and whatever. We've seen a lot of things where not being on top of what's going on in your company and these algorithms leads to a lot of weird dystopianness as well. So I think we saw in 2016 those algorithms got a little kind of into an optimization loop on weird things as well. So I think, anyways, I love your questions. I'm glad you guys are supporting how we're running Roblox on our AI technology.
You're confident that the technology has gotten good enough that you can use it to do moderation at a platform of Roblox's scale.
The scale we're at is absolutely mind-boggling right now, like absolutely mind-boggling. And every system, image review, text review, all of that constantly getting better and better. So
I mean, look,
I feel like Roblox is the worst at like AI moderation and stuff. I honestly don't know why. Like I said, it's partly the fact that they aren't running all this stuff locally. Because don't get me wrong, I think they actually have the skills to make stuff better. They just don't want to.
I can tell you're getting a little bit frustrated here.
I'm actually not frustrated. I'm so excited to talk. I thought we were going to be talking about funny things in the industry and all of that. So I'm not frustrated. I'm just kind of figuring out how much fun time I have.
Funny things. 6-7. Please don't unsubscribe for me.
With you guys and how much fun time we have versus.
I do not condone that 6-7 shit. I just want it to to be funny to the younger generation.
Super focused.
Got it.
But I'm happy to talk about whatever you guys want.
Well, let me just maybe just try one last thing here, because this is what I really want to understand. It is very difficult.
He hasn't answered any of their questions really about like how they are doing with like children's safety and stuff.
Difficult to do content moderation at scale. We have learned that from every single company. And I think that platforms provide various benefits to society. I'm on a lot of them every day. Okay. So I feel like we're kind of on the same page there. And I think being a CEO of one of these companies can sort of feel like being the head of the Department of Homeland Security, where it's like the best thing that happens during your tenure is that nothing happens, right? Nothing explodes.
I
nothing
want
blows
to push
up.
back on that.
Yeah.
And the reason I want to push back on that is that implies kind of a looking over your shoulder, defensive, oh shit
Yeah.
posture. That's actually not the optimal posture to build an amazing company. The optimal posture to build an amazing company is, oh my gosh, we are uniquely responsible for a lot
You
of
know, they are running a company. Or he is running a company. I mean, I hate to say it, but with how we're doing now, I feel like just a lot of places don't care about how they're running it because they should probably just be shut down by now. To be honest, Roblox shouldn't be a thing right now.
12 and under, there's so much constant learning, constant innovation that if we can do this right, like the future is really continues to be big and bright. And I feel we're uniquely in an opportunity to do excellent work in this 6 through 12 zone where many other platforms bounce off of it because they just can't do it and they're just not doing it right. So that is not how we run the company. We view it as a high responsibility situation, but an incredible opportunity if we can do it right.
So then my question is, how do you measure success? Like, how do you, as the CEO, as you look at everything you're doing, feel like we're applying the right number of resources and they have the right error rates, and we're in a place where
I would laugh and I would expect if he said money is money. We don't care about children's safety. I would actually find that to be just amazing because that's what he's mostly saying. Money is money. They don't care about learning anything about what they're using, the AI and stuff. Because that's what they're doing. They want to do moderation only right now in this day and age, but they don't want to learn how to run it locally. And locally is probably better than just having it somewhere else.
comfortable telling parents, bring your kids to Roblox.
We see all of those metrics internally all the time. They're not publicly shared. Do it, and they're just not doing it right. If we can do it right.
So then my question is, how do you measure success? Like, how do you, as the CEO, as
internally all the time. They're not publicly shared. We're watching filter rates, we're watching this rate, we're watching all of that rate. Those metrics
if they publicly share all their metrics and stuff,
not publicly shared,
then
we're watching
they will probably go downhill really fast.
Filter rates, we're watching this rate, we're watching all of that rate. Those metrics constantly get better as we add more and more AI on top of it. As you said, we're constantly running at a higher scale as well. My kids are on Roblox. We have thousands of people in the company. Their kids are all
Who
on.
cares? Who cares what your children are about? We are wanting to know what the consumer side of things is.
Roblox.
Your employees don't mean jack shit.
But I would say, and I've said it on other things, um, if a parent is the ultimate arbiter of responsibility, and if a parent out there, for any reason, is not comfortable their kid going to the park, not comfortable their kid playing with a certain toy, not comfortable being on Roblox, who am I to say, right? And so I do leave that to the parents' responsibility. I just operate as an example. Like,
Yeah.
what would I do with my own kids?
When we come back, more of our interview with Roblox CEO Dave Baszucki.
Well, I'm gonna have to cut this thing short. I gotta go get ready for work. I hope you all enjoyed that little reaction to what I thought the AI, or, sorry, AI, what David Baszucki did about all this child safety stuff. And I think he's pretty retarded. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go get off of here, get ready for work. I'm probably leave this thing uploading, that way when I get back hopefully it's finished. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Remember, face reveal at 500. But peace.